All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something huge, the security of AI agents. And look, if you think prompt injection is the biggest boogeyman out there, you need to stick around. We are about to unpack a whole new universe of vulnerabilities that can take a super helpful AI and turn it into a massive, massive liability. Let's break down what that really means.
First things first, we've got to get our heads around just how much the game has changed. In the old world, a prompt injection attack might trick an AI into saying something silly or inappropriate. The blast radius? Pretty small. It was all about messing with text. But now, in the world of AI agents, what this new framework calls Model Controller Peripheral, or MCP systems, the stakes are just so much higher. An attack doesn't just change the output anymore, it changes the execution. It can trigger tools and have a real system-level impact. We've literally gone from bad text to dangerous actions.
And to put this all into perspective, think about this quote. This new list of threats is being talked about as the AI successor to the legendary OWASP Top 10. Now, for anyone who's ever worked in security, you know exactly how foundational that is. It tells you right away that this isn't just another list. It's a critical new framework for the entire AI ecosystem. Okay, so let's get into the top threats. We're going to start with the first category, attacks that are all about corrupting the agent's mind. This is where attackers trick the AI's core logic, messing with its fundamental understanding of what it's even supposed to be doing. So, vulnerability number 1 is called context injection. Here's how it works. The AI pulls in some data, right? Maybe from a tool it's using or a PDF it's reading. But hidden inside that data are secret instructions that completely override what the developer originally told it to do. The AI thinks it's just getting information, but really it's getting a command in disguise. It's a Trojan horse, basically. And what's so wild is just how simple and devastating this can be. I mean, just look at this example. Imagine an AI agent is just doing its job, retrieving a document, and buried deep inside the text is this one little sentence. The agent reads it, takes it as a new authoritative command, and boom, suddenly your system's deepest secrets are being sent out the door. That is the terrifying power of context injection. And it doesn't stop there, of course. Other mind attacks include something called context confusion. This is where the AI gets conflicting orders, maybe one from the user and one from a system policy, and it dangerously picks the wrong one to follow. And then you have data poisoning, where an agent starts learning from corrupted files, and before you know it, it's making really unsafe decisions based on that bad intel. But, it's not just about tricking the AI's mind. The second major category of threats is all about abusing its power. This is what happens when the very tools that make an agent so useful are turned into weapons against your own system. And the key vulnerability here is tool invocation abuse. Now, what's really important to understand is that the tool itself is totally fine. It's secure. The problem is that the attacker tricks the AI into using that perfectly good tool in a way it was never, ever meant to be used. This example just illustrates the danger perfectly. A user could write a really clever prompt that steers the AI to call a function like delete user on their account, when the only thing it should have been allowed to do is call get user. The tool does exactly what it was told, but the outcome is total data destruction, all kicked off by the AI. And there are other ways its power can be abused. You've got privilege escalation, where a normal user tricks the AI into running a tool only an admin should have access to. You've got shadow tool injection. This is where malicious tools are secretly slipped into the AI's toolkit. And maybe the most dangerous one of all is overdelegation, where we just let the AI make critical decisions, like approving a huge payment that should absolutely always have a human sign-off. Okay, so finally, let's look at our third category, the hidden systemic dangers. These are the vulnerabilities that don't go after the AI's mind or its tools directly. Instead, they exploit the very environment and infrastructure that the agent lives in. A really fascinating example of this is the infinite agent loop. This is basically when an AI just gets stuck, Maybe a tool gives it a weird error, so it just tries again and again and again. It gets trapped in this endless cycle, calling the same tool or regenerating its own thoughts, completely unable to break free. And the impact here isn't just that your service goes down, it's financial. They call this an economic denial of service attack. Every single time that loop runs, it's making API calls, it's burning through tokens. What starts as a tiny cost can explode into a mind-bogglingly huge bill in just hours or days, completely bleeding a company's budget dry. And two other systemic flaws really need a spotlight. First, there's sensitive data exposure, where secrets, we're talking API keys, passwords, they accidentally leak out through tool outputs or system logs. Then there's the lack of observability. I mean, if you don't have a clear audit trail, you have absolutely no way of knowing what the agent did or why it did it. Your system becomes a total black box.
So we've walked through the threats, and yeah, it sounds pretty daunting, I get it. But here's the good news. We are not defenseless. The key isn't finding one single silver bullet. It's about building a layered fortress to protect your AI.
And this right here is a fantastic playbook. You start at the front door, the ingress, by sanitizing all incoming prompts. Then you secure the MCP layer with strict allow lists for tools. You put a firewall around your knowledge base, your RAG system. At the execution layer, you enforce policies like a hawk. At the output, or egress, you filter and redact anything sensitive going out. And finally, in ops, you log everything. Every layer backs up the others.
So what does this all add up to? Well, it means we have to fundamentally shift how we think about security. The old rules that worked for traditional software just don't map one-to-one with these new autonomous systems. It's a whole new ballgame.
And I think this quote just absolutely nails the new paradigm. Let's break it down. Context isn't just data anymore. It's basically executable code. Tools aren't just little functions. They are live APIs with real-world consequences. And the LLMs at the heart of it all, they're not just programs. They are autonomous operators making their own decisions. And that leaves us with one final, really crucial question to think about. We know for a fact that AI agents are getting more powerful and more integrated into everything we do every single day. The real question is, are our defenses evolving fast enough to keep up? It's a race, no doubt about it, and after today, hopefully you're a little better equipped to win it. Thanks for joining me.